Hi. So again, welcome to the somatic movement lesson. My name's Zoe. I don't even know why I said that. Maybe I'd forgotten what my name was. So I'm recording this one again separately to the lesson, mainly because yesterday my laptop just decided to die. So yeah, you get your own special lesson. And yesterday I really enjoyed teaching it. Not that I hate teaching it anyway, but it just went so well and I'm really gutted I couldn't have recorded it. So I hope this one goes as well as it seemed to go yesterday. Anyway, so as you know, within these lessons we're moving with awareness, we are moving with softness, we're not pushing into movements, that's not the game really. You know, we are going to be trying to use minimal effort to get the most out of our bodies, so it's a very relaxing lesson. Obviously I'm not there to witness what you're up to, so you've got to work comfortably, carefully. We're not pushing into injury. I mean, I'm sitting like this is comfortable. I want you to be comfortable. So anyway, let's start by relaxing ourselves down into the floor and making ourselves comfortable. So obviously, because I'm not teaching this, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to lie down and demonstrate how to lie down, which is utterly ridiculous, isn't it? But there you go. Just in case you're not sure, this is how you lie down. Okay, so you just allow yourself just to begin to drop yourself into the floor. So, you know, I've chosen to have my legs extended out in front of me. If you tend to find that it is a little bit uncomfortable on the back, you're very welcome to maybe have a knee bend or have both knees bent, or to maybe even place something underneath your knees. Sometimes having your legs straight pulls on your back and it might cause some discomfort. So maybe just putting something under your knees might just make things a little bit easier. And similarly with the head, if you tend to notice that laying down, your chin's tilted back and it feels uncomfortable, you might just want to plop a little blanket, a little cushion, a little block underneath your head and find whatever feels comfortable. Start the lesson just beginning to become more aware of the body. You know, we inhabit this body on a daily basis and we seem to be governed by whatever the mind is doing, absorbed in thoughts, absorbed in, you know, reactions to the world, all very head focused, but what's going on in the body? And just really become aware of the length of your spine from the back of the head to the tip of the tailbone. What shape would you imagine that it is? How do you sense the weight of your heels? What parts of the shins contact the floor? What part of the thighs contact the floor? Do both thighs contact the floor? How would you sense the hips? How would you sense the back of the pelvis? What parts of the ribs rest into the floor? What parts of the shoulders rest into the floor? And the arms and the elbows. Now the palms turned up or the palms turned down? Are your fingers relaxed, or is there excess energy in twitches that you tend to notice? And you let your chest really supported in the floor. Can you just relax the muscles of the back a little and allow the ribs to rest deeper into the floor? And as you breathe in, just pay attention just to your breath, how your breath is. Just take all the time you need to breathe in. Just let your breath go. Let everything go. as you breathe in, how do you feel your breath? Do you feel it in the back of your body, in any place? Do you feel any changes in sensation in your ribs as they contact the floor as you breathe? Feel your breath in your tummy, in your pelvis, in your chest, anywhere that you feel your breath. Just note it, feel it, make contact with it. So we're starting today's lesson a little bit differently. All we're going to do is move the legs a little bit today, so you can see my legs in this position. I'm just going to turn them around actually so you can get a good look at my feet. Hello feet, they are clean. I did have a shower this morning. Oh, right, yesterday. No, I'm joking. So just to begin to roll your right little toe towards the floor and then let your leg relax, come back to centre, and again roll your right little toe towards the floor and again relax your leg. Just trying to do it as easy. I don't want you to force it down, slowly roll it, doing it with ease and gentleness, and noticing that in order to roll that toe towards the floor you might be bending your knee a little bit, and just let your knee bend. You might notice that as you're rolling that little toe towards the floor that you can actually feel this in your right hip, and just pay attention to all the subtle movements. You even feel your right lower back doing something involved in this movement. Just feel how that little toe going towards the floor is actually sending the movement all the way up the body. You feel it in your head, maybe. You feel your head nodding a little bit. Just turn around a little bit just so you can get a sense of what I'm talking about. You can feel my head nodding actually with this. And I can feel actually that I could pull my right heel very easily up towards my groin. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to slide that right heel up towards my groin, not all the way, and then I'm just going to push it gently away. So again, I'm just going to turn myself around so you can see. So as I push that little toe towards the floor, just a little tug, I'm just going to pull that heel up a little bit, let it float up towards the hip, and then I'm just going to gently slide it away and let it relax. Just let go of the action each time, so treat each movement separately. So again, drop the big little toe towards the floor, slide the foot up, allow it to float up, and then slide it away, just let it go. Just doing it again, just seeing if you can make it feel any lighter. And I can actually feel that this left leg is just lengthening very naturally away from the body. You can actually feel the left leg just pushing back a little bit into the floor. And just letting it relax at the end. So just so the left leg doesn't feel left out, I'm just going to pause in the centre and just check in. Any feelings, any differences, anything just kind of emerging from that movement. And then I'm going to do the same with the left leg. So just placing that little toe into the floor, and again, taking my time just to notice how it feels to take that little toe towards the floor, and what it is that I'm really doing to take that little toe towards the floor. And I can feel the left knee beginning to bend. I don't want you to think about bending the knee, just try to take the little toe towards the floor, but you're just noticing that in order for you to get it to the floor, there's a knee bend, and actually as the knee bends, you can feel it maybe in that left hip, a little bit of a movement in that left hip. Can you just let that left hip be part of the movement? Observe that little left hip as a part of the movement. You actually notice how my left leg's actually wanted to float up. So I'm going to slide that left foot up towards my groin and then slide it away, and again just relax at the end of it. And taking that little toe towards the floor and just feeling how easy it is to let that left foot slide up. And I'm not going into a full movement, I'm not letting the foot slide off the floor. It stays on the floor, again it's just floating away. I'm just feeling how that right leg is just pushing gently into the floor and lengthening away very gently. I'm not pushing it to do it, it's just something that I noticed, that in order for that left leg to come up, The right leg is just leaning deeper into the floor just of its own accord. Just notice that movement. And then relax. And just let everything go. So we're going to do something that I never do at this point. We're going to come to seated. So just place your hands beneath your back and push into your hands and come to seated. Ooh, feel like a zombie. I'm glad I'm not wearing what I wore last week. I'd got a very short outfit on last week. You'd be getting completely flashed. And we're going to do something very similar to what we've just been doing, but sitting down this time. And hopefully get a really good feel of what, the connection into your hips now. So what we're doing, I'm leaning into my hands. Obviously, if your hands don't like this, you can maybe come onto fists, you can turn your palms out, find a way to, to get windy pops, to lean into your hands. And then, do the same thing. So again, right little toe. I'm just going to move back a little bit just so my feet don't look so big. And a little right little toe. And again, just leaning into it. Right little toe. Feeling that heel. Feeling the knee. Feeling the hip. Just feeling how that foot just might want to slide up, and then it does. And we're just going to slide it back away from ourselves again. And sliding it in. And sliding it away. Sliding it in and sliding it away, and just noticing that as you slide that foot in again, little effort, that left hip comes off the floor as the right knee comes in toward it, deeper into the flooring. So I don't want you to lift it up, just notice it. I just want to roll off the floor. But the more you pull that right knee in and the heel in, that left hip might just want to come up off the floor. Becomes a little bit lighter. We'll do the same with the left leg. So again, not gone too far. We're going to roll a little toe to the floor. So again, don't just go straight for the movement. I made that mistake there, just trying to go straight for the movement. So you just let the little toe, and then you start to feel that it wants to come in. As you turn the little toe to the floor, the heel starts to just want to come into the hip. So again, just tune in. Don't pull it in automatically. Just tune in and let it start to gradually come towards the body just by playing with it. And then starting to notice what your right hip's doing. Does it feel to get the left knee to come to the floor that right hip might just want to lift up a little bit? You might feel it differently. I mean, this does feel like a different movement to the opposite side. There you go, right hip's coming up. So you're sensing and feeling as you're moving. Notice how you're pulling it up, that your chest starts to turn a little bit. Chest starts to turn a little bit. As your right hip comes off the floor, the chest starts to turn a little bit. And again, you can always remember just to relax between each one, and again, maybe do it again. And again, relax at the end of each one. We're going to go the other way now. So this is actually a version of swimming frog legs. So swimming frog legs typically is done on the floor, but I quite like doing it sitting. It's a little bit easier to do. So we're going to now start to take the right heel in, big toe inwards. So again, roll the toe out, roll the toe in, roll the toe out, roll the toe in. And then again, as you play with that movement, so how easily that right heel started to come in towards the hip. Can you start to notice that it's actually, if you just roll the big toe and then just pull slightly, keeping the heel on the floor, you can start to let that heel come up towards you a little bit. So again, don't take it all the way out. Let your right hip come off the floor and then push the toes away and allow that leg to lengthen away from you, and then do it again. Big toe rolls in, slightly pull the heel again, let the foot slide up, right hip comes up, turning away to the left. And to come back down, lead with a big toe and just feel how the hip comes back to the ground, and again we can release. And then do it again. You can even play with how we come back down. Maybe think about your hip relaxing back to the floor, and that hip, as it comes to the floor, pushes the leg away. Play with that. So maybe explore as you roll up, sliding with the big toe away. Or you might think as you roll and let the toe come up, But the hip relaxes to the floor and it pushes the foot away. Play with whichever feels the most pleasurable. Just if you're doing this as well, maybe look towards the foot. Imagine you just got something stuck to the foot and you want to see what it is. So you're getting a little twist through the spine. Feel the spine turning through the body. And allow yourself to have a little rest. And just tune in for a moment. Let's take a seat and just check in on how the right side sits compared to left. And we could maybe let's do this, lay back down. Check in right side, left side. So then placing your hands beneath your back, push into your hands and come to seated like a little zombie rising from the floor. Actually, I'm thinking of zombies. I've been watching the Northern Ballet and Dracula. They're on BBC4. It was wonderful, and there were lots of just amazing movements. So pinged up like Dracula is what I was thinking then. Anyway, you don't need to do that, but there you go. Come up like Dracula. So we're going to look at the left foot, aren't we now? So again, roll the little toe to the floor, roll the big toe towards the floor, and again, just maybe slow the movement down. It's very easy just to wiggle the foot and think, yeah, there's nothing going on, but just to slow that movement down and notice how the body flows with it, how there's actually movements going on up into the ribs and into the spine and into the chest, and little toe comes to the floor, big toe comes to the floor. Just notice how your chest begins to turn as that left hip comes off the floor. Let it happen. And then we can start to notice that as you keep the heel on the floor, you can slowly begin to pull the heel up, and again let the chest turn to the right, and again lead with the left leg, let it pull you away, let it bring the hip back to the floor, and again turn, and then turn the foot in and slide the heel in, again allow the chest to turn to the right. You can begin to look to the foot, imagine we've got something on the sole of it, and again we can think about how to come down, letting the hip come to the floor, feeling as the hip comes to the floor, we can let that leg begin to straighten because the hip's telling it to do it. And again, let the foot come in, chest turns to the right, looking to the foot. And then, like I said, consider leading with the big toe, let the big toe push away, and allow ourselves to come back to seated and doing it again. Play with whichever feels the best for you. Let's have a little rest. And then can we do it both ways? So let your right little toe drop to the floor. And the pelvis begins to roll. And again, turn the left little toe to the floor. Right little toe to the floor, pulling your right heel in towards your body. And again, sliding your right foot away, allow yourself to relax back onto your back. Turning your left little toe towards the floor, pulling the left heel in. We can roll onto the left hip and the right foot just begins to curl up behind us as we just did before. And again, find those ways to come down. Can we relax the hips to the floor and let it push the legs away? And as we take the right little toe into the floor and we pull the heel in towards our groin and we let the left hip begin to lift again. Maybe consider leading away the left leg and allow that to come back to the floor, and we'll straighten out the legs. So just find some nice ways to roll. Find some nice ways to find your way back. So again, lead with the hip maybe one time, lead by lengthening away of the opposite leg another time. Just notice how far you can turn, pelvis turning. You can maybe even take one hand off the floor and bring it behind us, Have a look around the body, look to the ceiling, have a really good look at your room. Hopefully you're not going to find anything to clean up. And again, find some nice ways to come back. So again, maybe leading with the pelvis, maybe leading with the opposite foot. Again, find that way to look around the body. like some little creature from under the sea, like, you know, with legs floating around just on the current of the water. Starting to really get a sense, you know, at the moment, when I first started this motion a few moments ago, it felt like it's coming from the feet. Now it feels like it's coming from the centre of the body. I just want you to tune in where you now feel that this movement is coming from. Is it coming from your pelvis? Is it coming from your belly? Legs nice and light. So very little effort. And then let's allow ourselves to release into the floor. Just slide down onto your back. Let your legs roll out in front of you and just let everything go for a moment. Just let everything go. And just checking in on what feels like it's changing. Do we feel anything's changing? How do we sense the hips? How do we sense the legs? How do you sense the toes? You know, all these movements are waking up like little things that we don't often forget, that we forget about. We often think personally, just our bodies, you know, we work from the ground up, we use the floor to move around. And so if the feet, you know, we shove them in shoes, we don't always use them in the same way. We might start to notice just little elements of the feet that we'd never noticed before. You might even notice just random things, like just a part of the leg that you've never noticed before. Just muscles waking up. Again, just take some good quality time to breathe in. And all the time you need to breathe out, just let everything go. So let's start again with another little movement. Sliding now your feet in just in front of your hips. Stand your feet up. Think about your knees being in line with your hip sockets. And just notice your feet. What are they doing? How does your big toe, the next, the middle, the next and the little toe meet the floor on each foot? And the heels. Just think about your knees standing up throughout this practice. And your arms are just dropped down by your side. Take your focus down to your tailbone and your heels. So without moving the feet, try to pull your heels in towards your bottom and just allow your tailbone just to become a little heavier. And just imagine that as you pull your heels in, you could just imagine like a little animal run under your back. So like maybe a little blue tit. No one's ever scared of blue tits. I often think about mice, but if you want, mice, don't be scared of mouse. Blue tits, non-scary. Imagine a little blue tit just running under your back. And it's run away now. We're just going to start now to push our feet down and forwards into the floor and just let your lower back connect into the floor. And then again, pulling your heels towards your bottom, feet not moving, but you notice your spine is. And again, imagine like a blue tip just running underneath your belly, under your back, and out the other way. And again, just pushing your feet down and forwards. And again, spine connects to the floor. And just do that a few times. I just want you just to play with that movement and just noticing how, as you pull your heels in, your pelvis tilts and your spine is being pulled down, which is why we get that arch, but then also your neck is being pulled and your chin is nodding. And as you're pushing your feet forwards, you might feel your chin lifting a little bit. So you've got this coordination between foot and head. And just noticing how your shoulders are rolling on the floor. You know, your spine is moving around your shoulders. Your shoulders are staying still, but you might just feel your spine is just being pulled around that space through your shoulders. And just a little massage for your back. And then relax, let everything go. And we're going to now straighten our right legs out. keep our arms down by our side, and I'd like you just to come to, so I've got an itch. We're going to just continue doing the same thing, but it's just done with our legs, but just with the left leg this time. So keep that left foot where it is, but try to push it away from you and keep the knee standing up, but just notice how the left hip begins to come off the floor and the right hip stays on the floor. You start to roll to the right, and you might even just turn your head to look to the right as well, so heart turns to the right, nose turns to the right. Think about your left hip, feeling that a little bit heavier. Allow it just to lead you back down to earth. Take your time to come back down to earth and just feeling your body spreading into the floor. And then we can do that again, pushing down with your left foot. Again, think about that nice steady footprint and feeling as you push into the foot, how the hip comes away from the floor and the movement spreads. And again, you're turning your head towards the right. Whenever you're ready to come back down, you just allow the left hip to feel heavier, and again just to soften down into the floor. Again, let your head turn with it. And just do that a few times. Just feel the forces of the ground pushing up through the body. Very little effort. So if you tend to find that you're really pushing, just see if you can just take a big deep sigh, let go, and just try again. Think about the foot deepening its contact into the floor and how it pushes us. And we could then just consider what the spine's doing as we're doing this. What is it doing? It's actually doing a little side bend and a little twist. So just notice as you push into your left foot, how your right side is lengthening and how your left side is shortening. Your left shoulder is actually just kind of creeping closer to your left hip. And then as you come back down to earth, your left side is lengthening. You're just letting go of all the tension that left side as we release into earth. So you might not really think that this is what you're doing, but you're actually shortening and contracting those muscles on the left side. What we can now begin to do is turn your gaze to look to your left shoulder. You're feeling how that right side is truly lengthened from the ear all the way down to the right little toe. Again, as we let the hip come back to centre, just feel how that left side begins to lengthen and release into the floor. And just do it again a few times, letting this time your head roll to the left as you do this. And then slide your left foot out in front of you and just let go for a moment and just again sense what is changing. We all experience this in different ways. So how does the right side feel compared to the left? Do we feel longer? Do we feel flatter? What is your body telling you? So now we're going to slide our right foot up again, so knee points the ceiling again. Focus on your footprint. Knee's going to keep pointing forwards. Again with that same minimum effort, pushing your right foot into the floor and start to feel your pelvis turning, and you're beginning to lean into your left side and just let your head turn to the left and just keeping your shoulders on the floor. So again, we're not kind of coming up or anything like that. And then to come back down, just think about your right hip becoming a little bit heavier and it's just finding its way towards the floor. And again, let your head roll back. And again, pushing with your right foot and just feeling how your pelvis begins to roll to the left. And just let your head roll to the left again. And release back to the floor. And as you lay down, you feel your left leg just kind of lengthening from the centre and outwards. And as we push with our right leg, again, let your gaze turn to the left. Again, just notice now this left side of the body is lengthened, the right side shortened, ribs and pelvis coming closer to each other. And you might just want to lay a hand on it and just feel it happening. And as you lay back down, feel those ribs lengthen away from your pelvis. And again, get some nice squidge under your hand. And as you do it again, pushing in, feeling those ribs coming closer to the pelvis. And this time we can even then begin to look towards our right shoulder. And again, just feeling from the left ear through the left shoulder, all the way down to the left big toe. And as we relax back down, feeling that space appearing on the right side, and now that left leg just seems to lengthen out from underneath you and away. Just play with it again, just a few more times. And then let go. Sliding your legs out in front of you, and again just let your body rest into the floor. And again, just take all the time you need to breathe in and long deep sigh out. So let's stand both feet up again, just in front of the hips. We're going to come towards beads in the necklace, which in essence really is a bridge pose. But I just want you just to, rather than thinking like bridge, pushing up, we're going to focus on the pelvis and again, and just over the spine, and just imagine that it's made of different, every single part of that spine is a little bead. So let's start at the tailbone. Let's just pull those heels quietly in towards the bottom and just let the tailbone rest deeper into the floor. Imagine that is one bead. And then as you begin to push your feet gently forwards, the pelvis lies itself down, another bead. And as you push your feet forwards, feeling the very lowest vertebra begin to pick itself up, and then the next and the next and the next. And you're just going to keep those feet just pushing gently down and forwards and just allow the spine to float up. Whenever you start to feel that it's heavy, maybe a little bit heavy, I would say, just start to allow yourself to come down again, giving each part of the spine that individual attention. And at the end of the movement, again, just pull the heels gently towards the body. And again, push the feet gently forwards. Again, notice every part of the spine. Imagine just each bead is lifting up individually. And again, notice when it becomes effortful. This has lifted a little bit more for me straight away. And again, so we're not pushing into this, we're just taking our time to explore each part of the spine. And at the end, as you come back down, again, just pause and relax. Just imagine that your feet are just massaging down into a little, maybe you're laying on the back of an elephant, you want to just give it a good massage with your feet. Just feel your feet evenly pressing into the floor and just notice how that push, again, we're using the forces of the ground to push up into the body. Again, very little effort, just notice how you can rise up. It doesn't matter how far or how low. There might even be somewhere that you think, that's a little interesting spot. You just might want to linger over it and maybe roll over it in pieces, just little bits of it. So again, pushing down into the floor, and just feeling how the bones push up through the body. And again, might be somewhere that you just want to hang out a little bit and just kind of go over it a little bit and just see that little part, getting to know that part in your mind, connecting the dots in the mind. Just patient awareness, patient practice. And just notice now the feet connecting to the knees connecting to the hips connecting to the spine. So it's a whole body movement. And then at the end of this, just allow your hips to soften into the floor. Bring the knees into the belly, cross the ankles, place the hands on the knees and have a little move around. Let your knees roll to the left, away into the right. Just circle the hips. You might have chosen to go the other way. We've all got our ways of moving. Just go whichever way you feel and just allow that ground to give you a bit of an acupressure massage through the back and into the pelvis. Whenever you're ready, go the other way. from your feet into the floor in front of you, slide your legs away. And again, have a really good rest, let everything go. Okay, so we're going to take a little seat now, so find your way to come to seated. And let your feet come together. So typically this would be called biomechanics if you're in a yoga lesson. And this is not a yoga lesson, but it is kind of. It's got that same sensation, hasn't it, really? Within yoga, you really want to be drawing your centres inwards and tuning into that freedom of movement. So have your feet together, knees wide. And I'm just going to turn around again so you can see what's going on. Again, just letting your hands find a way to support you. So again, it could be you're going to be on fists, it could be that you're going to be on hands. Again, just find that great way of supporting the body. If this is causing issues with your knee, with your feet, you can always maybe cross your legs. That might feel a little bit nicer. It might be even that you're going to have your legs out in front of you. So again, find some good places. I quite like my feet being in this position, but that's just me. So again, maybe it could even be that when you're practicing this, that you just think, do you know what, I'm going to change my position of my legs and see how this feels. So again, your self-inquiry is always a good thing. So I'm just going to have mine there because that feels good. I might change it up in a second. And what we're going to do now is, I just want you to think about your hands. And all I want you to do is just take an exhale and just allow yourself to rest. Just to begin to let your spine relax down into that space between your arms. And you've actually dropped your pelvis back and your ribs will come closer to your pelvis and you're looking down towards your belly button. Now just think about your hands just pushing into the ground, and as you push your hands into the ground, notice how your pelvis begins to roll forwards and your spine begins to lengthen and your heart comes forwards, and just let your gaze lift up. And again, as you exhale, start to let your pelvis begin to tilt back and your lower back to begin to gently round, and your heart comes down and you're looking down towards your belly button. Again, pushing into your hands and just feel how your pelvis tilts forwards and your heart begins to lift and your spine is being pushed up through your body and your head begins to lift, and again sinking down. And again, it might be thinking, I'm just going to try this with my legs open, so I'm going to try that with my legs open again. Different sensations. If you've got your legs straight, you might feel your toes being pushed away from you and your heels being pulled in towards you. So you might inquire about doing it with your legs crossed. So again, just have a little play, notice. Take your time. Let's come back to the original place again, because that's what I prefer. So again, kind of looking for nourishing sensations, things that feel useful to you. So if you feel something feels really unpleasant, that's often a little sign in your body that maybe you should let that movement go for a moment. Maybe just explore changing position of your legs. Maybe if it's your wrist telling you a story, maybe explore coming up onto fists and trying the same movement. Maybe that is going to feel a little bit better. Maybe coming up onto fingertips might feel a little bit better. You might have to bend your elbows a little bit if you. Whatever you're doing, you're moving the arms, but the pelvis is moving. As your pelvis is moving, things are happening to the legs. Just notice what's happening to the knees, what's happening to the legs. So let's have a little pause, and I want you to just come back to this position with your feet together if you can. And then what we're going to do now is take our feet across to the right a little bit. So pelvis stays in the middle, and so your feet are off centre. And again, just allow yourself to relax back into your hands and then push. And you're going to feel your kind of chest going towards you, over your left thigh a little bit, and again, relax down. And again, as you push into your hands, just feeling your chest going over towards your left thigh. I'm not saying bring it over your left thigh, but just notice your heart is kind of leaning towards the left. and how that feels down that left side from the left hip to your left shoulder. And then taking your feet to centre. And then taking your feet again off centre to the left, and again pushing with your hand. Again, just allow yourself to drop backwards into your pelvis, and again that little push through the hands. Again, just notice how your right hip is moving really gently with patient practice, slow, delicate movements. Just let everything feel at ease. And again, I'm just going to ask you just to play with this. It might be you're going to have your feet in the centre. It might be you're going to take your feet off centre. Again, have a little play with this. And then let's let go of that. So take yourself back down onto your back. And ooh, release into the floor. How do you feel now? I don't know if anybody feel this, but in the centre of my back, I feel like I'm actually laying in a little ditch on my floor. I feel very flat, like someone's got a little rolling pin and has rolled me down the centre of my spine into the floor. I don't know if you're feeling that too, but it's an interesting sensation. Just let your body absorb everything. Let your mind absorb everything. Let your mind know that you can let go of the tension that we just allowed to build up. We don't know why it comes in. We're not asking it for it to get there, but if we sit down a lot, the body just starts to learn that this is fine, and then it just starts to adopt these shapes. We are creatures of habit. And what we're trying to do here is unpick these habits, let the body know that it can be free of these movements, of these tensions. I'm just going to relax down now onto our sides, so taking yourself over onto one of your favourite sides. And just bring your palms together. And so when you're laying down, have your knees in front of your hips, pelvis on its side, if you can think about your pelvis being stacked, feet being roughly underneath your tailbone, hands in front of the body. And your front hand, we're just going to begin to slide it forwards onto the floor. And just notice as your head turns. And then slide it back onto the palm where you started. And just do it again. Palm slides forwards onto the floor in front of you. And then come back so you're laying on your side. And again, palm slides forwards in front of you, palm begins to turn. You might start to notice that palm actually creeps. You can feel that hand underneath, that it's the hand underneath is actually creeping up your arm. So it's just your hand that's doing this. Slide your hand forwards, let your your head turn, forehead rolls into the floor. But just sense by noticing the bottom hand where it is on the top hand. Whether or not you can feel that you're going that little bit further without really trying. Exhaling into this. I want You're going to get something different to the lesson yesterday. I completely forgot what the last movement that we did was, but it was a twist, but it wasn't this one. But you're going to get something really nice happening there. So just to pause into centre and just let your hands rest. And we're going to now focus on the knees. Keep your feet together and take your top knee off the bottom knee and just let your top pelvis begin to roll towards the floor. Keep your left knee on the floor and then let your knees close. Pelvis rolls back and then push your top knee forwards of your bottom knee. And your hands up, in fact, bring your hands together, interlace your fingers. So your top knee, lift it off your bottom knee, let your pelvis roll back, and again keep your hands on the floor. And then let your top knee come back to rest on your bottom knee. You can feel your pelvis turning in space, and again then slide your top knee beyond your bottom knee. And again, take your top knee off your bottom knee, feel your pelvis turning in space, allow it to roll back. Your hands are going to come with it. Keep your hands interlaced, shoulders are rolling back a little bit, so your whole body's trying to roll backwards, but your hands are saying no, they're keeping it from rolling backwards. Then bring that right knee to rest on the bottom knee, pelvis rolling in space, and then slide that top knee forwards of the bottom knee, and you're keeping your feet still. And then your top knee is lifting off your bottom knee, and its pelvis is rolling back, and your body's trying to roll back, but again, your left hand, your bottom hand is staying on the floor. And that is just keeping you from rolling onto your back. And just do that a few times. Let your top knee push forwards and then top knee rolls back. So again, keep your hands on the floor. Just let your body turn with it, but your hands are, your left arm is actually stopping you from, your bottom arm, sorry, is stopping you from rolling back. So relax onto the floor. Stop interlacing your fingers, and then this time slide your top hand forwards. And as you slide your top hand forwards, lift your top knee and bring it back. Keep the feet together. And then let your knees come back together. Start to push your top knee forward. As you do that, slide your top hand backwards. So you can feel your shoulders trying to find the floor. Looking towards the space behind you, and then sliding your top hand back towards your bottom hand and slide that top hand forward. As you do that, open up the knees, keep the feet together, and then let the knees begin to close. And as the knees begin to close, starting to slide your top hand back and let the rib cage roll with it, and again roll back a little bit. Again, slide your top hand forwards over the bottom hand, and as you do that, top knee floats away, and again, just let that top hand reach forwards as the knee floats back. Let the knees come back together as you begin to roll backwards through the ribs. And again, turn your gaze. And actually what we can now begin to do is slide the top hand all the way across the chest and let it find the floor and rest. So straighten your legs, allow yourself to roll onto your back and just take a few breaths. Just notice how the body feels. Again, what do we feel is changing here? So I'm going to spin around just so I stay on camera. And then we're going to do that the opposite side. Yes, we are. So again, laying on your side with one arm underneath you, pelvis stacked, knees stacked, feet roughly underneath your sit bones, hands are on the floor. You might need a cushion. You might find that this is like really unpleasant. So if you've got a cushion, have a big roll of them. Just because we're rolling, we don't want to make sure the head's going to stay relaxed onto something. And again, your hands are together, and we're just going to slowly begin to lazily take that top hand forward. Just notice where your bottom hand reaches. Mine resting now just on my watch strap, and then slide the hand back. And slide the hand forward, let your head turn with it. just do that a few times. I'm just trying to think about how to describe this. As your palms are touching, just imagine that you're making or rolling a sausage out of pastry. A smooth movement. Just notice within a few movements whether or not that top hand is sliding further again, just by feeling where the bottom hand is. So that mine started at the top of the wrist and now it's kind of towards the forearm, and I'm not pushing any further, it's just happening naturally, just because I'm easing my way into the motion. Maybe as you come back to centre again, just allow yourself to roll back a little bit. No. V. Okay, so bringing your hands together again, interlace your fingers, and then this time we're going to focus on our knees, aren't we? So keep your feet together, lift your top knee off the bottom knee, and just feel how your pelvis rolls back a little. And how you kind of want to roll back, but your hands, you're just going to try and keep that bottom arm on the floor, don't let the arms come up with you. And then bring your knees together and just let your top knee again, just push in front of the bottom knee, just let that top wrist roll forwards. And then again, knees come together, lift your top knee off the bottom knee and let your pelvis roll back. I'm feeling this thing. And then again, just rolling forwards, top knee comes forwards. Again, just let the top knee come back. And again, top knee comes back forwards, palm rolls forwards again. Just feel the pelvis turning in space. Let the movement pass itself up through the body. And then let everything relax for a moment. And again, we're just going to let the palms rest upon each other, fingers relaxed, no longer interlaced. And again, start by sliding your top hand forwards. And lift the top knee off. Allow the pelvis to roll back a little. And then let the knees come together and start to slide the top hand backwards over the bottom arm again, rolling backwards. And then let your top hand begin to slide forward. As you do that, open out the knees, and again let the pelvis roll back a little as you will reach forward with the top hand. And again, we'll bring the knees back together. And let the top hand roll, slide back as we lean in, bring the top shoulder back towards the floor. And again, slide the top hand back, top knee lifts, just trying to roll the pelvis gently back a little. And just find some useful, beautiful ways to roll through the bones. So you've got the sole of the foot, it's going to be kind of just leaning out and just resting onto the bottom foot. It's really interesting stuff in that lower back of ours right now, the pelvis and the lumbar spine. Just be on the spine, push up through the body, the chin comes into the chest as we roll down. And as you lengthen the hands forwards, you might just feel your chin come away from your chest. And then what we can then begin to do is just let our knees relax into the floor, let your top hand slide back, and again allow yourself to turn into twist and just rest here for a moment. Just let the knees feel heavy. And then sliding your legs out in front of you. Just take a very, very good rest. Let everything go. Apologies there, my son decided to come into the room. Like, shh, I'm recording. Okay, so just take all the time you need to breathe in. and all the time you need to breathe out. And again, how are we feeling now in the body? What are we feeling now in the body? So again, just noticing the spine from the nape of the neck all the way down to tailbone. How does the spine feel? And how do we sense the heels and the calves and the thigh bones and the hips? How do we sense the rib cage? How do we sense the shoulders? And it might be that you just kind of notice before the lesson that part of the body didn't touch the ground, and all I want you to do is just notice that place now and just try to lift it up and then drop it down, and just notice just the effort it has just to keep it in that position that you had it before. So when we've got tightness in the body, it's just a little bit of effort that we don't even know that we've got. And just let it all go. Just let everything just come to rest, and just then come back to your breath and how it feels. Just let your breath fill the body. Just let the body breathe. Just taking all the time you need to breathe in. And as you breathe out, just think about letting go. And I just want you to bring your focus down into your pelvis, all the way down to the very base of the pelvis, our Muladhara chakra, if you were to, or the chakra system. And I see, just think of these as just kind of being almost like a body psychology. And the Muladhara chakra deals with our sense of grounding and feeling earthed and at ease with everything around us. You know, when we feel quite stable and at ease and confident, we can make any decision, can't we? So just allow that pelvic floor, the lower half of the body, the hips, everything just to feel at ease, or just notice that they feel at ease. And as you're breathing in, just noticing where that breath flows into you. I'm just going to start just to maybe come to this idea of breathing in a little mantra. That we are loved, that we are able to love, that we're confident, and we're open. Just breathe in those thoughts for the next few moments. And then just taking your focus now just to the tip of the nose, and just feel your breath at the tip of the nose for a few more breaths. And then reaching your hands towards the floor behind you, just give yourself a little stretch. Guiding your knees into your belly, can we find a good way to come to seated? And just guiding your hands to heart. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me, and yeah, if you want to ever do these lessons live, they are at 11:30 on a Friday, and I can keep a little BDI on you and just give you some good ideas of how to practice if that's what you need. So there you go. Thank you so much. I'm sorry about my son coming in and me agreeing, no, get out. But I was in the moment and I didn't want to break off, so thank you. Bye.